Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. So today, I'm back on standard mode, playing ADXE's Murloc Paladin. Now, Murloc Paladin, you guys are probably all familiar with it. You're probably all aware about how broken it can be. It's an incredibly aggressive deck. You can sweep your opponents very quickly. This deck makes some interesting choices. You've got one copy of Rallying Blade. I know a lot of decks run two. One copy of Unidentified Maul. I support one copy rather than two because I do find that the buff effect that you get from it can be very inconsistent. Sometimes you just don't get the effect that you need. One copy of Blessing of Kings for a bit of an extra push when you need the damage, and one copy of Dark Conviction, a very interesting card in terms of setting something to 3/3 stats, which can be good for pushing damage or neutralizing an enemy minion, and of course 2 copies of Spellbreaker. So those are the interesting tech cards. Now, I've had a 100% win rate with this deck. Yes, it's a very small sample size, only 7 wins, but here's why this deck interested me. Firstly, this deck took me from rank 5 to rank 4 with this 7 win streak. That's quite unusual because going from 5 to 4, you're usually facing very good players. Yes, it's the end of the season, and yes, you've got all of the good players have probably made it to legend already. But the people at rank 5 are still pretty decent. So to go from 5 to 4 with a win streak is a pretty good feeling. And I think just showcases the power and the effectiveness of the deck. And, you know, the decks we were facing were sort of tier 1, tier 2 meta decks. So getting those wins there felt pretty good. And as you can see from the timings, the games, well, they didn't last very long at all. Now, another reason that I wanted to publish this video is this game right here. Have a look at this. So, his turn 2, he'd played Van Cleef. A massively buffed up Van Cleef. He'd put Cold Blood on it as well. And I think he was just hoping to kill me with the Van Cleef over, 3 turns. And he still values clearing the board here because he doesn't want me to trade into Van Cleef. But with the damage that I have on board, there's 7 damage, I can kill the Van Cleef. But I'm not going to do that. We want to end this game in style. And we want to see if he falls for eye for an eye. See, no one ever plays eye for an eye. No one ever picks eye for an eye from a hydrologist. So he's not going to expect it. Let's see if he plays around it. He's a rank 4 player. So, if he hits my face, he's dead. The question is, will he trade? No, he clears the board. He thinks he's safe. He thinks he has this game won. No, eye for an eye. Didn't play around it. He could have tested for it with his hero power, the dagger, decided not to, and he paid for it. Okay, so there's our Murloc quest completed, which is pretty cool. And we're going to look at one final game here. And we're going to look, this game against a priest is interesting because, well, one of the most overpowered cards in Hearthstone at the moment is Call to Arms. And I have a coin. It's turn 3 next. I'd quite like Call to Arms. I really would. That's not Call to Arms. Okay. And I've picked Redemption as a secret because we've seen a Shadow Word Pain. I'm anticipating another Shadow Word Pain or him doing something to get rid of the 3/3, the War Leader. So Redemption will get me that War Leader back on the board. Instant board presence, don't have to spend the mana to play it again. That's my justification behind Redemption, that he will try and target the War Leader. Although, since we've seen one Shadow Word Pain, the propensity for him to kill it does seem unlikely. So, we're just going to go all face here. And buff the War Leader. That seems sensible. A 4/4 now can't be targeted by a Shadow Word Pain or a Shadow Word Death for that matter. Now this is a very interesting priest. He runs Holy Nova. I've actually not seen Holy Nova played competitively on ladder for quite a long time. People tend to run Dragonfire Potion, or on Wild Mode, Excavated Evil, which does 3 damage rather than 2, and you don't mind giving your opponent a copy of it. But this game looks to be over very shortly. I mean, he's at 2 now. There's no point playing the one drop there, the Inquisitor. Just hero powering seems reasonable in case he has a board clear. Another Holy Nova. Interesting. So 2 Holy Novas in a row. Now, the Megasaur. Will it get us something? Divine Shield is fine. I did misplay there. I should have played the Inquisitor first. But I think in my sort of rush to end the game, I thought I was just going to get the +3 attack and just go face and win from there. No, didn't get what we needed. That's unfortunate. Instead of Divine Shield, maybe I should have picked something else there. Okay, we need to maximise our opportunities to draw Rallying Blade. So if we get Rallying Blade, we win the game. Now, sadly, there's only 1 copy of Rallying Blade in this deck. And I'm just wondering, should there now be 2? For situations like this, where you're just trying to find lethal. Wow, Dragonfire Potion on 2 minions, but he knows that he's slowly, sort of removing my threats. My threat count is reducing massively. There will now come a point in this game where I'll just run out of Murlocs, and there'll be nothing I can do. So we challenge him again, and we say, okay, can you kill a 6/6? It's out of Dragonfire range. Can you deal with it? The answer was yes. And now the priest is making his comeback. Greater Healing Potion is not what you want to see. We got lucky in the first few turns of the game. We were able to push a ridiculous amount of damage. And had I optimised my plays a little bit more, perhaps, maybe we could have found some kind of lethal. I don't know. But we're prioritising here and drawing cards. Push a little bit of damage. So, the one saving grace left in our deck. Oh god, it's Big Priest. Wow. Ysera is not a bad... Well, it is kind of a bad one for us, because the good thing about Ysera is it doesn't have taunt. Okay, so we can just go face here. It's not the Lich King, it's not Obsidian Statue. The bad thing about Ysera is she gives dream cards. We don't want to silence her. If he resurrects her, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because again, she doesn't have taunt or lifesteal. The bad thing is the dream cards, and there are some really good dream cards, obviously. Ysera Awakens is insane for him, given his health total is still relatively high. Oh wow, okay. Those jugglers clearly hate Ysera. So yeah, Awakens would be terrible for us. I mean, it does 5 damage to his face, I guess. But Sunkeeper Tarim is the saving grace in this deck now. We are... Oh god, another Dragonfire Potion. So, we are running out of cards. And running out of threats. Getting that little Murloc back to hand is not good. Probably should have picked another secret. That's not great in this situation. I mean, the shield is somewhat helpful, but we'd have probably preferred the attack there, just to push more damage, plus attack, +3 attack I think it is, or is it 2 attack, I can't remember. Anyway, Sunkeeper Tarim is a saving grace. Call to Arms, 2 copies left in our deck. We haven't drawn them. Oh look, there it is. And it gives us 1 Murloc. Hey, we got some value out of it, right? A full cost 1 drop. Feels good. But we're still pushing damage. We're still pushing damage. And the key thing is to try and stop him from resurrecting an obsidian statue. Or resurrecting that Lich King. An 8/8 taunt is very, very awkward for us. Very annoying. But we have to kill the 5/5 body. We have to push. We have to get through. Okay, there's a Spellbreaker. And actually doing this is really good. Because now it's going to be harder for him to kill it off. Harder for him to resurrect it. So right now, in the resurrection pool, he's got Ysera, which is fine. We just need to kill him before he can kill us with those big bodies on board. Okay, there's the other statue. Really awkward. Because now, every time we attack into it, it's going to heal him. But there's our win condition. Finally, he arrives. And we attack with the Divine Shield minion first. That's fine. 2 hits were all that was needed, and that's lethal. So, what can we take away from that game? Well, the fact that he wasn't able to resurrect Obsidian Statue or the Lich King with a taunt pretty much meant that we were able to win the game. So if you're playing an aggro deck and you're going up against Big Priest, try and stall their resurrect effect. Spellbreakers worked really, really well there for us. I could have made a couple of different decisions over the course of that game, but in the end, Sunkeeper Tarim won the game for us. And notice that Call to Arms wasn't even needed in that game. It brought out 1 minion. So I think that does show the power of Murloc Paladin, the aggression. I mean, you saw the aggression that we pushed early. We got him down to, what was it, like 2 health? It was insane. So the aggression you can push early is of course what wins games with this deck. Now, in terms of cards that I would switch, I don't like Unidentified Maul. The buff effects that you get from it are not always great. I mean, in a couple of my games, I got the taunt effect. That's not what I needed. I needed something that could push damage. So I would actually consider a second copy of Rallying Blade. At least it's consistent. At least you know what you're going to get. And it's 3 damage, right? 3 damage is pretty good, either at killing a minion or going face. Dark Conviction is the other interesting card that's been teched into this deck. I don't think you see that card played very often now, but it's won me a few games actually. It's neutralised a few taunts for me. It's buffed up a 1/1 to give me 2 extra damage. I like that card, and I wonder if there would be room for a second copy. So I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on this deck. Are there any cards you would take out? What do you think of Coal-Light Seer? Would you include a second copy? But anyway, this deck has been phenomenal for me. It's taken me from rank 5 to rank 4 with 0 losses, which I'm grateful for on standard mode. And I guess I'd be interested to see what Murloc Paladin gets when the Witchwood expansion comes out. Will there be any additional Murlocs, any additional tools that Murloc Paladin gets? And that's Murloc Paladin in sort of the aggro format, or Murloc Paladin in the more control-y format, the slower format on wild mode, where you've got anything can happen. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe. I would be grateful. And I'll see you guys all again very soon for more Hearthstone fun.